Hey everybody, it's Charlie. This is so awesome. They finally confirmed what's going on with Tom Holland's new Infinity War suit. We've all had our suspicions. Way back before Spider-Man Homecoming, I thought that they would just backdoor Iron Spider him a costume. Like, it was his very first Marvel movie, so of course they're gonna baby step it. So they want to go with something that looks very old school Spider-Man. But because Iron Man was designing it, it's like, what other surprises does it hold? So we learned about that during Homecoming, and I was like, okay, maybe this is just the version of the Iron Spider suit that we'll have in the MCU. Technically very low grade compared to comic book Iron Spider, because that was literally just an Iron Man suit painted to look like a Spider-Man suit with extra arms on the back. But we get that post-credit scene with the crazy-looking armor suit, so very clearly that was meant to be the Iron Spider suit, but still, we just didn't have any confirmations about what it did. Now they finally released promo art, so let's break this down. Like, it's a little bit different from what you would think of as Civil War era classic Iron Spider. There have been a couple different versions of the Iron Spider suit in the comics, so I'll try to explain the difference. Now we can check out those trailer scenes, chart the timeline, and see where it is they're either omitting stuff or not including stuff. But it's a very fun spin on the idea of Iron Man's Hulkbuster costume. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's going to be so much Marvel stuff dropping. There is an Infinity Gauntlet giveaway going on right now, but because there is so much crazy Infinity War merch, I'm always happy to do giveaways for anything else for that too. It's just that the Infinity Gauntlet is like the most shiny thing of all that we've been talking about for the past 10 years. So Iron Spider, if you're wondering what's going on with his suit, this is actually what the back of it looks like. It looks just like you would expect a normal suit to look. Nothing special. It's not like there are a crazy amount of nanites. It doesn't look like Iron Man's bleeding edge armor, which does seem like it's completely nanite activated the way the Black Panther's suit is made of vibranium nanites. So like he wears that necklace and it just comes out from that. Same thing with Iron Man's costume. Just nanites form the costume around him. Like, this is what Iron Man's wings look like when they stick out the back. Because of the nanites, he can just create any type of armor attachment that he wants to. So like he has this hand cannon that everyone's been seeing. It's not that he's still using a version of his Iron Man armory where there's like a warehouse somewhere and the part flies on and attaches to him. The nanites just reform to make the cannon. The difference in the Iron Spider costume is it's sort of like that joke. The difference between the War Machine costume and Iron Man's newer versions of the costume, where he jokes to Rhodey and says, "You wear my 80s hand-me-downs." Like, he's always wearing a more primitive version of whatever Iron Man's wearing at the time.
I got a ton of new tech. I got a prehensile suit. I got bomb disposal. Catches explosions midair.
So last time you got a good night's sleep.
Einstein slept 3 hours a year. Look what he did.
Same thing with Spider-Man's Avengers suit. It's just a more armored version of the Homecoming suit. Same type of tech, like he still has Suit Lady in there. He still has the heads-up display, the different webbing, but it's vacuum sealed so that he can survive in outer space. So like you see him hanging onto Thanos' ship way up high in Earth's orbit. Like, you can clearly see that the ship is going into outer space and he's gonna die if he doesn't get some sort of spacesuit on him. This is where we get to the Veronica of it all. So what is Veronica? It's really like a mobile armory where things just shoot out based on Iron Man's needs. Hey, I need the Hulkbuster, send Veronica in. So you have all these different parts that just attach to Iron Man's normal armor.
I'm calling it Veronica.
All right, everybody, stand down.
So that's kind of what's going on with the Iron Spider costume. Just like a couple different parts that attach to him. The Iron Spider legs that everyone's freaking out about are just another Veronica-style attachment. So think of Spider-Man's Iron Spider costume during the movie as being like Iron Man's Hulkbuster. Like, he still has his normal costume that he flies around in, but sometimes when he needs the extra juice in a fight, he calls in the Hulkbuster and it just forms around him. So Spider-Man will still wear that classic Homecoming suit, and I think he'll go back to that for Spider-Man 2, because he really does want to be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man even after this big Avengers retreat that's going to be happening in the next 2 movies. There'll be so much grief and loss that they'll be trying to deal with in the wake of it that they'll all just go back to their normal lives. So Spider-Man has to go back to high school after this is all over. So back to friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, back to the familiar, back to Aunt May. And that means back to this version of the suit. But I'm really just talking about looks. That doesn't mean that they won't change the Homecoming suit. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the Iron Spider suit? And what do you think is going to make him go back to the Homecoming cloth suit? Like, do you think that this suit is going to get destroyed? Because usually what happens with Iron Man suits, the reason why he changes is just because he picks up in the new movie and he's been tinkering since the events of the previous movie. So imagine what you would do if you had unlimited money and the unlimited ability to tweak with different versions of the suit. Like, he went full George Lucas on all of his Iron Man armors, which is how you got all the different versions. That's one of the reasons why they blew them up at the end of the movie. One, it was cool, but two, he was crazy when he made all of those. And now he has the nanite bleeding edge armor, and it can become any armor that he needs it to. So he doesn't need 100 different suits of armor. He just needs this one that can become 100 different versions. And that's kind of the direction we're going with Spider-Man. Like, you'll have the classic looking Spider-Man suit, but then you'll have Veronica moments when he needs some extra juice when he goes into outer space or there's some crazy task to perform. But I think what'll happen is because of the influence of Black Panther and Shuri, those moments in, Avengers 5, like whatever comes during Phase 4, will be inspired by a lot of Black Panther technology integration.
Man, Tom's my friend. I was contemplating helping him in the future with his suit and stuff, and we were just going back and forth.
Just to be clear though, Black Panther tech and Iron Man tech, not that different. They function a lot of the same way. It's just that one's based on vibranium, one's based on traditional science. The advantage being that the Black Panther tech is much more integrated with natural biological systems, so it appears to be much more natural, even though on a very basic level, it does all the same stuff as Iron Man's tech. So imagine Spider-Man in the future doesn't need to wear a bunch of different attachments, like he still has a suit that looks like the classic Spider-Man suit, but when he wants it or he needs it, he can just form his web shooters without having to physically put them on. I think there'll always be a version of the web shooters, I just don't think that he's gonna have to physically put them on anymore. It's just a good example of him just thinking, oh, I need my web shooters, and they'll form around him out of little vibranium attachments. But don't go too crazy with suit theories, just remember that usually the technology is made to serve the story. So like whatever Spider-Man's arc is during that next Spider-Man movie, whatever new things that his suit does will be made to serve that. But the really funny thing, because we have Aaron Davis, they're kind of hinting at Miles Morales in the Spider-Man universe, and we have Donald Glover's character, who is the Prowler. There have been at least 3 other characters that have worn the armor. During Civil War era, the original Civil War, there were the Scarlet Spiders, which were a team of clones. It looked exactly like Spider-Man's version of the costume. More recently, Mary Jane Watson wore a version of the costume, implying that it was the version that Peter wore during Civil War. Then just this January, Donald Glover's character from Homecoming wore a version of the suit, but it was after Secret Wars, so Miles Morales woke up in a different reality. His uncle bought a version of the armor on the black market, obviously it looks a little bit different, then reformed a version of the Sinister Six. So I'm not expecting them to do that in the movie universe anytime soon. Maybe the animated movies, because we have that Spider-Verse movie that's coming up. It's implied that they'll get into some multiverse ideas with a bunch of different versions of Spider-Man, so maybe that's where we'll see some of this stuff.
Wait, so how many of us are there?
There is some special Spider-Man stuff happening this weekend, but it's Tom Holland and T'Challa presenting at the Oscars.
Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that tomorrow I will be taking over Instagram's Instagram. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but the Instagram handle, I will be taking it over and taking you through the Oscars. I just did my rehearsal now, it went so well.
There's a bunch more Infinity War coming up, but leave all your video requests in the comments below. Congratulations to Pablo Alonso. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Click here to learn about the 10 Phase 4 movies they just announced, and click here to learn all about the Flashpoint movie details they just released. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.